All right, all right, all right, all right. Hey, Kathy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. I'm so excited.
It's been a long time coming,
I'm,
hasn't it?
I know, I know. I'm really so excited. So, first of all, I want to welcome you to our Meet the Member. You are a member of our fantastic group. And I have to go back to the name of it because I've changed it recently. It's not the Get Back in the Groove group. It's a very long title. The Confident, Inspired, and Aspiring Limitless Women's Facebook group, but you're also on YouTube as well. So welcome, 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 welcome. And we go back quite a few years, come to think of it.
We do.
I'm
We really
thinking,
do.
when did we meet? A few years ago, I think, through Meetup, right?
Yes. I'm just trying to think. If I've been divorced 11 years and I got into Meetup right away, it could have been any time after that
Yeah.
on that.
And I think you might have came to one of my walks. I think that's how it started.
That's how it started. Yeah.
I think so. And then I found out you had a bed and breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Spoiled, rotten bed and breakfast. Yeah.
That's right. And then we started working together, right? I started offering seminars and different things
Good
like that
old
at your
days. Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
how
love
did you
doing your
even,
journaling and meditation. Yeah, that was
thank
good.
you, thank you, thank you. How did you ever start into, like, why would you even think of doing something crazy like that, Kathy? I have to ask, why a bed and breakfast?
Well, when I got divorced at around 50, I realized my whole life was changing and I had to do something. And I might as well pick something that I really liked because my job was ending. Everything was ending in my life. So I decided to do a pro and con list of all the jobs I've ever done. And I found out that I might like to have a retreat. So I went on a 6 month journey around North America, working at retreats, volunteering. And when I came back, I went, I don't think I want to do that. And somebody suggested, why don't you start a bed and breakfast? And I went, oh, no, no, I'm not an entrepreneur. No, I can't do that. And eventually I said yes. And then everything just fell together. And after
Wow.
a while, I realized I can actually do workshops and I can do retreats too. So I kind of got the best of all the worlds for about
Yeah.
6 years. Yeah,
Wow. 6 years.
I know.
That's a long time. So you had a bed and breakfast, you did retreats and seminars and workshops, but you specialized in a particular area, didn't you?
Spirituality. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I would get guest speakers to come in and talk about meditation and do drumming circles, anything spiritual. And I'd also, when one of my guest speakers started to drop away, I thought, well, I might as well just keep up with it. So I started continuing what she started, and I got a little more confident. And then I realized the sky's the limit. I can do anything like that.
Yeah.
It
This
was
that
really
is
cool.
that's
Yeah.
really cool. Tell me a little bit about some of the clients, or I guess you wouldn't call them clients. What do you call them? The people that
Guests,
stayed there. Guests, thank you.
guests. Yeah.
Tell me a bit about some of your guests that you had. And I'm just going to notice that we've got somebody viewing us on our Facebook group. So hello, hello, hello. And whoever's watching us, can you type your name down? We'd love to say hello to you. All right, tell us a little bit about your guests, Kathy. Some significant ones that you remember.
Well, I mean, I had the UK scammers, the gypsies, who ripped me off, and I became kind of famous for 15 minutes. Um, I only had a few really bad guests, um, and the rest were really really nice people. I tended to attract people more my age, or if I did the Airbnb, they were younger kids, millennials. And I
Mhm.
had a whole gamut of people, but they liked to come because I'd have a bed and breakfast and the Airbnb, and I would treat the Airbnb like a bed and breakfast. And then they'd come back just for that alone because the breakfasts were big and they could get massages. They were spoiled rotten for sure.
Yes, well, that was the name, wasn't it? You had to
Yes,
spoil them rotten.
it was.
And your food was awesome too. I remember during our
Thank you.
journaling seminars, you created some wonderful food.
Yeah. I
But
even did some food workshops too.
oh yeah, I
A
mean,
little
there
bit
was
of
a lot of
everything.
options. Yeah, but that changed last year sometime, right?
Canada Day.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what the
I
heck happened? I mean, you got to tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Well, there was a tiny medical problem and I couldn't get upstairs. My knees were bothering me. And I called a realtor and I said, maybe I should just pick your brain. I'm not ready to move, not ready at all. And she told me, you got to sell. And then everybody I talked to said, you got to sell. So I said, okay. And that day I put my house on the market almost. I closed the business. I retired. I put everything in storage, moved away, and then moved to another city where I don't know anybody. I mean, everything changed. Very impulsive.
How long did it take you to do that?
From July 1st to November 14th, I was in my new place.
Okay, so it's a bit impulsive, you got to admit. When I saw you posting on Facebook and I said, what? Wait, my head's still shaking. What?
I know. It just keeps getting crazier every day.
So why did you do it so impulsively like that? I mean, is it all or nothing or what? What happened there?
I guess I don't mind taking risks like that. I don't think the end process. I think, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen and it's going to be fun.
Right.
And then if it's not going to be fun, I just pretend that I don't know that aspect of it. Yeah.
So you think about the fun part.
Yeah.
When you jump in.
I do. Yeah.
Cool.
Constantly doing that. Yeah. My life has to be fun or I can't do it. Or I just procrastinate and push it away. And yeah.
What have you been doing lately? Because I know you've moved now. You're not in the Ottawa area. What have you been doing lately?
Well, Facebook has found a sucker, and they sent me a notice for a conference with Tony Robbins. So I did that for a week, and it was fun, and I took lots of notes and everything. And then as soon as that was ending, I got another notification that there was get rid of your menopausal middle.
Oh,
who's on there saying we miss you?
I don't know. You'll have to write your name down. It's a Facebook user, and with StreamYard, you have to give permission to have your name. So could the Facebook user please write down your name, and then we'll let Cathy know who misses her. So okay, so what is this about the midsection, the fat in the midsection? What was that?
Well, if you sign up for OM and they send you the horoscopes, they also say we have courses. And so I signed up for one of their courses, how to lose your menopausal middle. And that was 2 weeks, really intense. And just as it was ending, another one came up and it was growing your own mushrooms. And I went, I've always wanted to do that. So I wrote down everything I possibly could for that. And then another one came up. And I feel like I'm constantly learning. This one now is ADHD. And that's mind-blowing for me. And then I know when that one's over with at the end of this week, there's one coming up on growing your own herbs and I'm buying a house. My head is all over the place. I'm just
okay. So I like the ADHD one. Why did you decide to take that one? I mean, I get the midriff one. I had taken that one too, by the way, and saw the first few lessons. Yes, I did. And I thought, not yet. Because it had a lot of different ingredients we needed to buy. Blah, 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 blah.
Very expensive. Very expensive to do that one. Went through the whole budget in the first 2 weeks. Yeah.
But the
ADHD one.
Yeah, what is that?
Over the years, ever since I was a little kid, you'd be sitting at a desk behind people and you put your feet on their desk and you would just start jiggling it. And people are like, please stop doing that. Oh, doesn't everybody do that? And then, you later, your parents are referring to you as flighty. She's all over the place. And I thought, that's just annoying. And then later on, you're married and there's things you just can't seem to grasp. You can't seem to get the house clean, even though it's really important for the marriage. You just can't seem to do it. It's not fun. And so when I started doing the ADHD, I realized we're not wired for unfun stuff. I will do anything if it's fun, but as soon as it's a boredom, like balancing my bank book, oh my God, I've had to close bank books and start over again because I'm so bad at it. I think I'm good, but I'm really not at, so it's learning a lot about myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think you are ADHD?
I did the mini test and it says if you have the first 4 out of 7, then you probably have it. And if you have the first 6 out of 9, you probably have it. And if you do, go see a doctor. So I'm getting ready to find a doctor in the area. And, I have a feeling I'm already on the medication temporarily for something else. So,
Right.
If I take the medication, maybe that'll just focus my thoughts.
Right, right. So
Yeah,
if it's okay with you, we'll talk a little bit about this. Is that okay with you if we talk a little bit more
sure, of
about it?
course.
And I'm just
Yeah.
going to share a quick story here. Years ago, when my son, I've got two sons. I have one that's 39 and the other one is 37. But the younger one um, was hyperactive, when he was a kid. And I remember going to the doctors, and the doctor saw him, how active he was, and he quickly prescribed Ritalin, quickly,
Yeah.
without even really giving a good assessment. And I noticed this happened a few times. So the first time he did not, I did not give him medication. It's ridiculous. 2-year-old Ritalin, nay. But then years later, same stuff was going on, and I did go see a doctor, and he tried the medication and it slowed him right down.
Wow.
So, I don't know if you know anything about the medication, but I'm wondering, what are some of your concerns about seeing a doctor, if any?
Well, because something happened in a sleep apnea clinic. One of the questions he asked me was about driving and falling asleep, and I may have said for a few seconds, and I knew right away I was screwed. And I said, you're gonna report me, and he says, I will, unless you get
Oh,
this medication, and it's like
oh,
Ritalin. And
yeah.
I said, you're putting me on Ritalin? He says, in children, it's high doses to calm them down. For you, it's small doses to make you focused and stay awake. So I have a
Mm,
feeling it's the same medication, and it really does make me focused, but probably makes me, a little bit jittery and moving faster. So I have a feeling it'll be something like that medication, and it'll be a different amount.
yeah,
But I would never take it in the quantity that the kids do. Oh, that's
right.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And usually doctors, they'll prescribe a certain dosage and you'll try it and
you'll
see,
try it.
what it's like and so on.
Yeah,
But
but I'm not
there are.
worried.
Mhm,
I'm not
mhm.
worried about it because I kind of like who I am now. If it were
Yeah.
becoming a problem, if I were working and it was a problem, but I'm retired, and if I'm flitting all over the house and I'm doing 2 minutes here and then I get distracted and I do 2 minutes there and distracted, I'm getting 2 minutes done in every room and 2 minute
Yeah.
jobs done it's working for me
Yeah, well, I
at
was
this
going to
age.
ask, there has got to be some advantages
Yeah.
to having some ADHD. What have been some of the advantages that you could see?
They say we're more creative, and that could
Mm,
be. They say
yeah.
we make the best entrepreneurs. Like at least 50% of the ADHD people have, uh, or at least 50% of entrepreneurs have ADHD, and it totally makes sense because you're so focused and you forget about time, and you could be up. Like I used to when I was at the bed and breakfast, I'd be doing paperwork, and I would be at 10 o'clock. Okay, I'm just going to do one more minute, and then at 2 in the morning, I go, oh my god, where
Yeah.
did the time go? I was loving what I was doing. So if I love what I'm doing, I can lose track of time very, very easily. Yeah,
Right, right. So there were some advantages over the years,
absolutely.
obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I want to focus more on the advantages, but were there some disadvantages?
I don't finish anything.
Okay.
And if it's boring, I won't even. Yeah, they said, one of the questions is you start putting something together without reading the manual. I
Mm,
thought, oh, I haven't read a manual in 100 years, and it's never together right, and I just can't do it. It'll sit there on the table, for months at a time. If
yeah,
even if I just got it in the mail, I won't read it. I can't stand it. Yeah,
right.
and it's
Well,
expensive. It's expensive because
really?
if your mind is all over the place, where's your cell phone? I lost it. I think it could be there. It could be here.
Mm,
Oh, where's your gloves? I think I lost them too. Oh, where was that? Your agenda? I don't know where
mm,
that went. So, you know,
mhm.
it can be expensive, and it can be very, nerve
Right,
wracking trying to
right,
find
because you
stuff.
can't find your phone, you gotta buy another one, you can't find this, you gotta buy another one,
That's
then you
right.
think you gotta buy another. Right, right, yeah, I can get that. But at the same time, like I'm thinking, I don't have ADHD, but I sometimes lose my phone and I start a course and I might not finish it. So
Yes,
what
that's
would
a
you say
common
is the
one.
main,
Yeah.
what would you say is the main difference? I don't have ADHD, but I do have some of those kind of, I don't
Yeah,
want to say
everybody
symptoms,
has that.
but habits. Yeah.
Everybody has that. I think it's the extent of how many you have that
Mm,
makes you, you know, uh, be qualified to have that title, that illustrious
right,
title of ADHD.
right.
So
Yeah,
everybody has it. Everybody forgets stuff.
yeah. So tell me more about you. And I know you took a mushroom course there. And do you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? Why?
Um, well, I like mushrooms, but I was in another meetup, and it was Earth ships, and they were saying if you can come out, we're going to teach you how to do mushroom logs. That was so fascinating. Never made it. Always regretted that. Well, now I did the conference, and the guy was showing you exactly how to do it. You drill it in it. You already have the spawn. You put the spawn in it, and you melt wax on it with mineral oil, and then you put it at certain ways around the log, and then you
What?
angle it.
Wait, wait,
So
wait.
cool.
What? You're talking about mushrooms here, right? Mushrooms that you
Yeah,
eat?
in
Okay.
logs. They're grown in
In logs.
logs. Yeah,
Okay.
and then when you've got it all prepped, you put it in the shade for, I'm going to say 6 months, but I haven't read the notes, so 6 months, and then you take it out and you put it in rain, as much rain as possible, and then it grows. And the one I'm going to get is north of Kingston. It's at a mushroom farm, and they're lion's mane. They're huge and they're wispy, and they're supposed to be so brilliant for Alzheimer's, dementia, old age,
Oh,
any of those symptoms.
you mean
So
you mean
I'm kind of,
mushrooms have different, oh, what's the word I want to think of here? Are good for different reasons?
well, these mushrooms are really good. They found for growing
Oh,
old and keeping
wow.
focused. Probably the same kind of things as for the ADHD. I bet you I could take that and it might be, useful. We'll see. We'll see.
Wow. No, I mean, I'm being serious. It kind of blows my mind, and the therapeutic uses of mushrooms. But how did you? I mean, how will you grow it? You'll have to come. Do you need a little piece of mushroom or something, or to start it
You
off?
send away for a spore, or you get it from the farm that
Oh,
I'm going to go to, and I think it's $25, and they give you a kit, the whole kit.
oh,
And so I plan on using those spores and hopefully putting them in logs, and I have a location. I can't do it here because there's nothing. But when I move to my next house, which is on the horizon, then I'll be able to do it all there. And it takes a couple of years, and then you start having a regular um, growing.
yeah. And very, very interesting. I'm also thinking because you and I are friends, and we've had a lot of conversation. I'm thinking of the trips that you've taken. Now, were
We've
any of
taken
those, well, we've taken one trip.
one trip, yeah. Yeah.
But I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the other trip that you've taken. Now, I'm just curious, those trips, were any of those impulsive trips or were they planned out?
Well, the 6 month one was, I hadn't done any planning, just met somebody and she said she wanted to go and she wanted to plan it. So I was really
Oh,
lucky there. It was
yeah.
very, very impulsive to do everything.
Mhm.
After she left, I just went day by day. And
Yeah.
the other trips, um, the one to Iceland was very impulsive. It was just spur of the moment. A friend said, well, we talked about going, let's go. Okay, the trip's booked. And I went, oh, I guess I'm going to Iceland. Um,
Wow.
Trips to Australia, they always have to be well planned, overseas. But
Yeah.
yeah, some are impulsive, but most of them are not.
Yeah, you know what? While I'm listening to you, I bet you a lot of women wish they were a little bit more impulsive.
Yeah, I think
No?
so. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm saying that because a lot of us overthink stuff and never get things done or never start certain things because we're always worried about what's going to happen if this is, all of this, right?
A lot of fears. Yeah. And they say,
Yeah.
I could never do what you did. And I think the same thing. Oh, I could never do that. I said, oh, wait a minute. I've done that already. Yeah. Oh, I guess I could.
Right. So, do you have any fears? Are you aware? I mean, when you're planning your move or when you went to Iceland, did you have any fears that came up at all?
No, Iceland, no. On my long trip, driving solo around North America, no fears, nothing. On my new move coming up, anxiety, but no fears.
Wow. Cool. How do you know, how do
Yeah.
you know, how do you know it's anxiety and not fears? I'm just curious. How can you tell?
Well, the unknown is a little bit nerve wracking, but then I glom onto something that I go, oh, yeah, but remember that house you looked at? Can you imagine living there and the things you
Oh,
could do and the financial ways to make money? And I just kind of get rid of all the other stuff. Like I'll be alone up north by myself most of the time. And what if, then I just don't go there. I just,
so you focus on the pleasurable, the pleasures
yes,
of it.
yes. I can actually
Yes,
see myself living in one of the houses that I've seen up north. I can
right.
see it. I can picture
Yeah,
where I put my furniture, so it's
yeah.
kind of nice.
No, I think, what you're saying, and, you kind of related it to ADHD, but the fact that you're focusing on the positive outcome and
Hmm.
you're focusing on the pleasure that you're going to get when you're, in that house and so on, that I think is key. That I think is key, Kathy, for women our age to focus on that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Like when I moved here, I realized, oh my God, I really don't know anybody except for my daughter who moved with me. And I don't have a job. I don't know how to meet people on the street because everybody's closed down and COVID afraid and stuff. And then after I got moved in and after I got over Christmas, and then I realized I got to start getting a life again. So I started joining clubs and coming up with a bunch of really great ideas. And now I'm not afraid of living here by myself. Once I jump in with both feet, it's
Yeah.
okay. But when I think about moving up there, I go, oh my God, we're starting all over again. But hey, I did it the first time and it only took a few months, so I could do it this time.
Yeah, well, I'm
I
just
hope so.
thinking, I was looking at a posting that one of our members, Vonda, just put out. I think it was in more of her personal profile, but and I don't have it in front of me. So, Vonda, if you're listening to this afterwards, it's the one that you put on today. But at the end of the day, at the comments were, I'm jumping in with both my feet. I'm jumping in with
Nice.
my feet. Yeah. So do you think that, if women want to get their groove on, if they want to continue feeling groovy, do
Yep.
they need to jump in more with their 2 feet? Like jump in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Take the
Just
risk.
just do it and have the faith that when you'll land on something good. When you jump
Yeah.
off that cliff, something good is going to happen.
Yeah. How important is that faith? The believing that something is going to come out, something good is going to come out. How important is that piece?
It's really, really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like when I'm talking to people about COVID, like I have an aunt who's very afraid and she just lost her husband. And I said to her, so you're not really getting out there right now. And she says, well, no. And I said, but your husband is gone. And what's the worst thing that could happen? I said, if you don't get COVID, you're living your life. And if you do get it and you die, you get to go see your husband to another better place. And she goes, oh, yeah, I guess that's right. But there's
Yeah,
always a good on either side.
that's right. Yes. But I
That's
think
what I think.
we have a tendency to look at what is going to go wrong, what could go wrong. But it's to realize, like what you're saying, is that there could be so much right. There could be so much right. And if we can focus on the right,
Yep.
and eventually we'll land and we'll go, wow, what an experience that was.
And you know that because you've been to Mexico and you've traveled and taken all kinds of courses. So you know the same thing.
Oh, yeah,
Just do
man.
it. Just do it.
Yeah. When I went to Mexico, like before I went to Mexico, I had friends sending me emails about the dangers in Mexico, the drugs and so on in Mexico. And I have to tell you, I thought about it, but I didn't focus on that because I wanted
Mhm.
to experience going to Mexico. I wanted to experience what it was like to speak Spanish with people. So I focused more on what I wanted to come out,
Right.
what the outcomes were. And and I always say, instead of, and I'm trying to reword this, but instead of looking at the fears and walking towards fear, we need to walk towards love, towards what we want.
What you want to attract.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So, and you
Yeah.
do that. Hmm.
Because if you do, focus on the negative, you'll probably get the negative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll never do what you really, really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where, coaching comes in as well, of course. But so have you ever experienced something that you did, impulsively or not, and that you regretted?
Mm,
I know that's a big question and it might.
and I know the cliche answer is I don't have regrets. I have
Mhm.
momentary things where I wish, I'm not sure that they were the best uh, solution that I did, or where I
Mhm.
didn't listen to my intuition and bad things happened, but good
Mhm.
things kind of took over in the end. So, no, no. I think
How
they've
does
all been
how does
good.
spirituality, because you mentioned you did your seminars and your retreats and all that stuff, had a flavor of spirituality. How does spirituality help you with that and faith?
I kind of just feel like I'm always going to be protected
Yeah,
and
yeah,
supported, and um, nothing really bad is going to happen. It could
yeah,
happen, but I'll always get better. And, when I meet bad people, I always have I try and put myself into their shoes and why they're like that, and try not to be judgmental. It doesn't always work, but, I think it's always going to work out one way or the other. Even if something bad happens now, in the long run, I'll realize the reason it happened, and then it helps me a lot.
yeah. I think that's huge, Kathy, because I think if most of us would know that whatever we're going to do is going to have at some point a positive outcome, is going to be.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, and it does. And it's
Yeah.
that belief that it really, really does, especially if we do it with love, with the intention of having, a loving kind of um, outcome or sensation. Yeah,
And when it
absolutely.
doesn't work out, I journal.
Right, right.
Yes,
Okay,
that helps a lot.
cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, uh, my daughter does it religiously every single day. Myself, I don't. I only do it when I'm having problems, and usually with guys. And then I
We'll
journal
talk about that later.
another
We'll
day.
keep that one for another time.
But that's when I do some of my best journaling, and then I get it out of my system, and I realize, oh, that's why I'm being bothered or triggered or whatever. And then it gives me the courage to change whatever I don't like.
Yeah, journaling is profound, really profound. I
Mhm.
kind of miss doing those journaling sessions at your place, but I've done a few of them online. It's not the same thing, but
Nope, nope, it's not. You'll have to come up to Bancroft or north of Bancroft and maybe do some more and go on holidays and join me there.
yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say something, and we're still recording, but I was going to go to Kingston to check out the K&W specialties shop. I used to make soaps, and I used to
Ah,
buy but I heard that they closed down. So I did a
you
quick
waited
search.
too long, eh?
I know. Yeah, I know. So we're nearing the end of our call. I always ask the question, what do you think women need to do to get back in their groove? So I'm going to ask you that. What do you
Oh
think
my.
we women need to do to get back in our groove or to feel our groove again?
Um, like we said, stop focusing on the fear of everything and
Mhm.
um, just get out there and start doing things that scare you.
Yeah. Oh,
If you do
wow.
like one every single day, I think it helps you become immune to being nervous all the time or scared or not accomplishing anything.
Right. Okay. So step out of your comfort zone. Do something every day
Yes.
to step out of your
Yes.
comfort zone. And
Yeah.
do it and go through it and actually execute that thing. Wow.
And maybe write about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I love writing.
Holy jumping. That was really scary.
That's right.
Oh my God. What was I thinking? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything else you want to say before we end this call?
No, I just think my life is going to change again in about in the end of the summer. Maybe I think I'll be
Hmm.
just packing up again and moving to a new location and starting a whole new life, continuing with the bed and breakfast, and
Yeah.
maybe and
Wow.
then some and workshops and yeah.
So that's exciting, right? That's exciting.
Scary actually, but yes.
And you and I have talked about another series. I'm not going to get into the other series, but I'll
Right.
just give a little heads up. We will talk about sex in our 60s.
Or the lack thereof.
But that's for another time. That's for another
Yes.
time. All right. Well, thank you very much, Cathy. It was really, really interesting. And I'll end the live in just a few minutes. I just want to say, if anybody's watching this afterwards, just add your comments. If you have any questions, even to ask Cathy, please add it in the comments section, and we'll respond definitely. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Bye now.
Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.